Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. But really, this is the Realty Podcast takeover of the TED Show. I'm super excited to have my very, very dear friend, the one and only Ben Maynard. He's the broker owner at Pixel Realty. And we do a podcast called Realty. Get it? Realty.
Realty.
Realty. And we wanted to kind of put it out there and let you guys know when we're launching and when it goes live. And so talk a little bit and give you teasers and sneak peeks at what we're talking about. So without further ado, welcome, Ben. How you doing today?
I am fantastic. It's a beautiful day after that storm that we had last night.
I know. It's so pretty out there. I'm looking at the sky here at the Citrus Club, and it is just gorgeous out. But boy, last night was wild.
Yeah,
but not as wild as some of our conversations.
Yeah.
You like that segue? I wrote that all by myself.
You get to the tune.
So Realty, tell us a little bit about Realty from your perspective. You had the idea. I've got to give you obviously all the credit. What's Realty about?
Well, my husband and I came up with the idea. So there's a lot of podcasts out there that talk about real estate and what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, like the trick to finding success. And so when we first started this journey, I said, I want to do it with Ted. And I didn't want to just put out something that was going to be another like how-to, how-tos are great and everything. But really, at the end of the day, there's nobody out there that's being real with agents and not just agents, but consumers as well. And so my journey in this process has been that wanted to start something that, not only talked about things that are really impacting agents and being real and honest about it, but also just things that drive us nuts in the industry and, all the things that we're experiencing, live. So,
yes,
right. Our most recent one was burnout, balance, and BS in business. And obviously it's getting towards the end of the year. So everyone's getting burnt out and,
checking out. They are checking out, aren't they?
They are.
We talked a lot about, like, if you guys tuned into our upcoming episode, we talked about the burnout and maybe why people are burnout. We talked about, is there really a balance? Can you really have work-life balance? How do you manage all of the, especially this season, slowing down on your business? Is that a good idea? Picking up on your business, how do you balance events and galas and family and holidays and all of that good stuff, which can impact all of it? And of course, every week it's called Realty, so we want to talk about the BS in business. And that's not a degree, you all. Haha, just kidding. But there's a lot that we talk about every week, and it's engaging. I love having the real conversations because not enough people do.
Yeah. And I mean, it's great. We have a team that works on it. Big thanks to Jacob and Edward, my partner, who manage it and edit it because I don't edit it. And so it's great that we have that ability. They set up. We did move it. It started in our office, and we decided we needed a bigger, grand space to hold Ted's champagne.
That's for sure.
And so we do it at the house now, but we're looking to do other locations. We've got sponsorship inquiries already, so we're starting to venture down that avenue, and we just want to keep growing, and we're going to have some guests on coming up, and it really is a focus on what real estate world, like what we're dealing with day to day with the interest rates and agents struggling that came in during COVID, and they're like, what's going on? I'm used to having clients like falling on my face that I can't handle. And, now they're like, well, what do? I don't have anybody in my pipeline. So they're kind of going back to being like new agents and learning about that. But at the same time, it's exhausting because, they went from having the successful business to now they're down here where it's, they're like, what am I doing wrong? And so that burnout is really starting to come into play more this year than I felt last year.
100%.
So, talking about the balances of how to do that, how to have a work-life balance in real estate, because what is that?
What is that? We talked about that, though. We spent a great amount of time talking about balance, but we also were calling out some of the BS that goes on or has been going on in our industry lately. I think every industry has their own BS, but I feel like in real estate, The year has just proven to be more challenging for some. And so some of the things that people do to survive or to do better
Not
in
just
business.
real estate, it's Florida real estate.
Yeah,
Because
Florida real
I'm
estate.
licensed in 5 other states, and I've never seen so much craziness that happens in the state of Florida in real estate. You know, they say it's the wild, wild west when I moved down here of real estate, and they were not wrong.
They're 100%
Um,
right. And even
it
our
was
own market,
crazy.
even our own market is an interesting challenge.
And we talk a little bit in there in the podcast about some of the title agency issues out there, you know, some people that have weaseled their way into our industry that try and lecture agents on how to do it properly. And, you know, I feel like, you know, that if you're going to listen to someone, at least listen to somebody who knows the industry, not just
Now I know
client
what we're talking
services
about.
and stuff like that.
Yes, you should, right? And it's across the board. I mean, but there are definitely some people out there that are teaching or quote unquote teaching and guiding, quote unquote. I don't want to use the C word, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And they are, I don't know. I don't understand why people listen to people who haven't been in the market and in the trenches, but to each their own.
I mean, yeah, and I mean it's not just the C word, but it's also, you know, people teaching contract classes and, you know, documents and stuff like that. I've sat in a few of those, and they're questionable. Some of the advice, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that's illegal. I'm like, you can't put that on a as is contract. And so, you know, me being the compliancy nerd that I am, I'm always focused on what we're supposed to do correctly on a contract, and, you know, just the whole process and everything. So really it's also kind of, the podcast can be kind of a cautionary tale and what to look for in real estate as well. You know, what we don't tell these stories to be mean. We tell these stories to enlighten people and help them recognize when maybe something isn't such a good idea to listen to, or, you know, oh, you know, I didn't really think to ask those questions to the title company to see what their processes are like. Or, you know, I've had agents come in and I'm like, well, you know, they're struggling with open houses. And I was like, well, have you partnered with a title agency? And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, well, are they advertising for you? Is your lender advertising? And so we talk about all of that stuff. And it's kind of like an aha moment where you should be thinking about these things and how to help your business.
Agreed.
So even though we do gossip and share the tea on there, you know, it's still helpful in my opinion.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not.
I think our intentions, even though it's tongue in cheek and we're having a good time, our intentions are to shed light on some of the things that are going on that might not be great for you as an agent or in real estate, or might be fantastic for you as a realtor or an agent or somebody in the industry, because there's so much out there and there are so many people who are phenomenally talented, and then there's a lot of charlatans. And so to try to maneuver through that and work your way through and try to determine who is who can be a task. I mean, it shouldn't be like that, but that's unfortunately our industry.
And so, I mean, thank you for having me on the TED Show, of course, to promote our new podcast, because the TED Show is great. It's very community focused. So what has it been like for you to be on a different style of podcast?
Okay, that's a great question. So I've always been the interviewer. So being at first, I wasn't really sure how to do that. I've been guests on podcasts before, but it's a shift, right? I'm not asking all the questions. We're just having a conversation, which I love. Whoops, there goes the light in my background. But I love it. I love the interaction. I love the fact that we have an overall theme of real estate and realty, and that we can, because there's so much to talk about just within those parameters. Right. And so I love the interaction. I love the setup. I do like the fact that we have multi-camera. I mean, the whole thing is a beautiful setup. So again, kudos to you and Edward and Jacob for the setup and for the editing. I enjoy it a lot. Like, I really look forward to it, because it's a place where you all are a safe place, so we can have an actual real conversation without any BS involved, unless we happen to be talking about other people's BS.
Yeah, we've got to come up with some stage names.
We sure do. We came up with a few, which I won't mention until we clear them with each other. But what's funny about that is the industry is people do pay attention. So they may watch my show and I'd never know it. They may go to the podcast and watch the podcast. We'd never know it until there's a moment in time where we run into them and they say, "Oh my God, I loved you. I love what you talked about XYZ." So people are listening. They pay attention. I think people are hungry for information. I think all of us have the same questions about the same organizations and people in our local community. And I think that they're just trying to figure out how to, maneuver through all of the BS that we have.
Right.
All right. So when are we releasing this week's podcast?
It actually came out today.
Yay!
So typically they come out on Fridays. We had a little bit of a hiatus recently. So we're getting back into the swing of things. So we're gonna get back on that Friday schedule. Typically every other week, I think, is what we're doing right now. But never know. Maybe we'll ramp it up and it'll come out once a week, with a little bit of a break in the holidays, obviously.
Oh yes.
So
I'm excited. So you guys can find Ben at ipixelrealty.com or on all of the socials. You can find our podcast, Realty Podcast, on YouTube, and I'll put the link below. Please subscribe. Yeah. If you have ideas or thoughts or things you want us to talk about, we'd love to take on any topic.
Yeah, please send us topics. If you want to come on the show.
If you've got some tea, come sit near me. What's that? If you got something not so nice to say, come sit next to me and tell me all about it. No, we really just want you all to have real information instead of the stuff that is out there and floats around and you can't really tell which is real and which is.
And situations to make you think oh, if I ever run into that, there we go.
Correct.
So
we're educational as well. And we have a good time.
And
all right, Ben, I appreciate you. I appreciate Edward and Jacob. You guys subscribe to Realty Podcast on YouTube and the link will be below. And if you need to reach either one of us, there's our information scrolling across the bottom there. Ben, until next time, we'll see you soon, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much.